To get this look started, the first thing we're going to do is use a color from my e.l.f. eyebrow kit. And the e.l.f. eyebrow kit simply looks like this. You can purchase this from your local Target, Walmart, anywhere that sells e.l.f. products. Mine would be either Target or Walmart to sell this. And this one is the dark. And I'm going to use the brow powder right here. And I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy blending brush like this. And I'm going to apply this to my crease area. The reason why I'm using this color is because I've been enjoying it lately in my crease. And you want to make sure that you're using circular motions just like this. I've actually been enjoying this color lately as a contrast color. So all of the other colors that we're going to use are also a shimmer color or a frost, and I like to always have some kind of matte coloring going on in order to tone down any shimmer or frosty eyeshadows, and also to warm up the crease a little bit. That's why I'm using this color. So you want to continue to apply this to your crease until you get your desired effect. This right here should be sufficient enough for me. So here's the eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using. This is from Wet n Wild, and the name of the eyeshadow palette is Walking on Eggshells. My sister requested me to use this palette, so that's why I'm doing a tutorial with it. Now I'm actually going to use the palette the way that the colors state to use it. On Wet n Wild products, they have brow bone, crease, and eyelid placed on the actual color, just to give you an idea of where to place the colors. So this one says brow bone, this one says crease, and this one says eyelid. So I'm taking this top color right here that says brow bone, and I'm using a flat shader brush like this, and I'm going to simply pat this under the brow bone area, and I'm really just patting it. You don't need too much. And then once you're done patting that color on the brow bone area, I'm going to use that same brush that had the transition color right here from the e.l.f. eyebrow kit, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of that highlight. You don't need to add any more color on the brush. You just want to use whatever is left on there to blend those two colors together. The next color I'm going to go in with is the eyelid color, and that's this color right down here. It's actually a light pink color, and I'm showing on my camera that it's looking more like a tannish color instead of like a pink or peachy color. So I'm going to pick up some of this eyelid color, tapping whatever excess I have on my brush off, and I'm using the same brush. I just wiped it off. I have a makeup a towel that I use specifically for makeup in my lap, and I'm just wiping that off. Now I'm going to pat this on my eyelid area, and again, you really don't need a lot of these colors. Number one, because they're frosty. I don't like to use a ton of shimmer eyeshadows. If I'm going to use a lot of them, then I just simply use a touch of the color. You just want to pat that, and if you wanted to, you can also bring that color in your inner tear duct as well as under the eyelid. Now that we have those colors laid down, the last color to use in this look is going to be this middle brown color right here, and I'm using that same fluffy blending brush, and I just picked a little bit of that color up on it, and I'm going to blend this on my outer V and the lower portion of my crease. And again, I'm just, you know, blending this in. I'm not using a lot of it, just a little bit of it. Okay, and now if you want to give the look a little more intensity, then the color that you go in with is going to be the one from that e.l.f. eyebrow kit, that little brow powder color right here. make sure that you're always tapping the excess eyeshadow off of your brush, because you want to minimize as much fallout as possible, and you don't want to have to worry about too much clean out or anything like that. Plus clean up afterwards. Plus you also don't want to put too much eyeshadow color on your eye, because if you use a little bit you can always intensify it, but if you put too much then you can't take it off. So we're just going to intensify that outer V just a little bit, and you're just using circular motions just like this, and then you begin to move over across the eye. Okay, loves, and so now what we need to do is to line our eye, and the first pencil I'm going to use is a black pencil, and it's my Urban Decay pencil, and this one is called Perversion. It's one of the 24-hour pencils, and I'm just trying to see if my camera will zoom in on that. I don't know, we might be a little bit too close. But either way, it's the Urban Decay Perversion pencil. And I'm going to tight line my eye. And what I mean by tight lining is to line the inner rim of your top lash line. And then I'm just going to line my waterline regularly. So you just run this pencil. The best way to do it is to keep your eye open and look down into a mirror, which is what I'm doing, and I'm also trying to stay and focus on the camera. Alright, and then I'm just going to line my bottom lash line. Now that we have our top line, our top waterline line, and we have our bottom waterline line, we're going to now reline our top lashes, but just up here I'm not going to tight line. I'm just going to do the traditional lining of the eye, but I'm going to use a brown pencil. The reason why I'm using brown is because I do not want the harshness of the black up here as well. I kind of want to play around with a soft yet kind of dark look, if that makes any sense. So the pencil I'm using is this brown one right here, and this is from the Rimmel Scandal Eyes. It's the waterproof pencils that they came out with, and I purchased mine from Target, but anywhere that sells Rimmel products you can purchase this. And again, this one is the brown one, and it's called 003 Brown. And the next thing I'm going to use is this little spongy right here. And this came out of that Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells palette. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So, what you want to do is to line your waterline, the top. And it actually does not need to be that perfect. You can wing it out if you want to. And now what we're going to do is actually smudge that with the little sponge tip applicator that came with your eyeshadow palette. So you're just going to run this across that eyeliner. And if you feel like you need to add some more to the top of it, then you can. But I really like the brown because it gives the eye some definition, but it's really not that as harsh as the black. And then you're going to line your lower lash line with the brown as well. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take that sponge tip applicator and just smudge it out. And then once you do that, you'll pretty much look like this. Now what I'm going to do is apply some mascara to my top lash line. I'm going to use my L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. I'm not going to do the bottom lashes, just the top, because I still want to add some concealer down here. Alright, so I just got done applying mascara to my top lashes. And again, I didn't apply it to my bottom lashes just yet because I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer. I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me in medium. And this one is number 25. Again, this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Now what I'm going to do is apply this in a rectangular section, and I'm going to apply this under my eye and just blend it out with my ring finger. For foundation, I'm going to be using my Revlon Nearly Naked, and the number that I use for this is 240 Toast. Again, the number that I use for this is 240 Toast. I don't know whether or not my camera is going to zoom in because that's some really small writing, but I am absolutely loving the the Revlon Nearly Naked foundation. Perfect foundation. I even have my sister hooked on it. She loves it. And I believe I did a review on this already. I'm thinking about doing another one. The brush that I'm going to use to apply this is my Sedona Lace Buffer brush. As you can see, mine broke, but I didn't even bother to put the handle back on it due to the simple fact that I kind of like using it like this. I use it like a kabuki. I'm just trying to find where the handle is. Give me a second. Here's the handle. It's the Sedona Lace 480 brush, and some water must have gotten into the funnel. This is why you guys want to make sure when you're washing your brushes that you keep them this way and that no water gets into it. I know sometimes when I wash my brushes, my daughters manage to find them, so I'm sure that's what happened to mine. But it doesn't really matter. I don't mind it. If I wanted to, I can just glue the handle back on. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face. And for the Revlon Nearly Naked, I only use one layer of this. I do not use that much of it. I just simply use it as like a finisher to my face. Not really to cover up anything, but just give my face a nice finish. To have your foundation on, you can go ahead and start applying your blush. The blush I'm going to use is from Milani. And this one is, the name of it is Luminoso, and it's number 5. And the brush that I'm going to use to apply this, even though it does come with a little brush on it, if you wanted to, you could use that. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply Luminoso with my e.l.f. complexion brush. And I absolutely love this little paddle brush. I purchased mine from Target. And I'm going to just do a nice little layer of this blush. You don't really need a lot of it. The one thing that I like about these Milani baked blushes is that it gives your skin a nice glow to it. It gives it a little bit of color, but it just gives it a nice glow to it, a nice pretty sheen to it. So it makes it look like really healthy, as opposed to a matte blush, which is just going to give you a nice shade of color. The baked blushes are just my absolute fave to wear really all year round, but in the summertime they're just really pretty because they give your skin a nice healthy glow to them. Now I'm going to apply some bronzer. I'm going to use my NYC Matte Powder Bronzer, and I purchased this from CVS about a summer or two ago. It was supposed to be one of their limited edition type of things, but you can use any bronzer that you want. I'm not going to apply too much of it, just a little bit. And then the brush that I'm using is my e.l.f. blush brush, and I love the angle on that brush. And I purchased this brush, this one I actually got from TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I forget which one it is. Okay? And then you don't have to, but I am going to apply a little bit of a highlight. And that is going to be my MAC Double Definition. I'm just going to run my brush between the two of these. It's the Extra Dimension Skin Finish. And I'm going to apply that here, right here on the bridge of my nose, and right over my cupid's bow. Alright, love, so now that the entire face is pretty much done, the last thing to do is, of course, your lips. So I'm going to use my Jordana Easy Liner, and this one is in Tawny. And I purchased this lip liner from Walgreens, and I really like Tawny because for me, I use Tawny to tone down any nude lipsticks that I might put on. So I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips with this. Once your lips are lined, then you would want to go in with a lipstick, and the one that I'm using is 013, and the name of it is Smoked Peach, and this is actually a Revlon lipstick, and I love Revlon's matte lipsticks. I actually like all of Revlon's lipsticks actually. Now you can just apply that to the middle of the lips and block them together to move it around. Even though it's a matte lipstick, I will say that that one is moisturizing to be a matte lipstick. It's not one of those drying mattes. It's a matte that actually you can rub your lips together and it doesn't feel like they're like paste or anything like that. I am going to go in with a gloss. Some people don't understand how, like, why would you put on a matte lipstick if you're just going to put a gloss on it? I use a lipstick for the color. I don't always use a lipstick just because it's a matte or it's a gloss or whatever. So if I put on a matte lipstick and I want a lip gloss the color of the lipstick, then I just put a gloss on top. So that's why I'm using a gloss. And the one that I'm using, Lure, as you can see, it's one of my favorites. This is by M.A.C. and it's called Nude York City. And I'm just going to apply this to the middle of my lips, the middle of the top and bottom. And when I put on my lip gloss, I don't really rub my lips together. I just like to let that move around as I talk. But again, this is Nude York City. It's by M.A.C. The only thing I don't like about M.A.C. is the fact that there's no name on it, so you gotta kind of remember it. And the only reason why I remember this one is because I use it that often. But the packaging, the lettering rubs off, but I still love the color. That's what's important to me. So this is the tutorial. My sister asked me to do it, and I hope you dolls enjoyed as well. It's a perfect daytime look. It gives you a little bit of color, gives your eyes some definition, and you still get a nice nude playful lip. Now, if you want to kick it up a notch, what I would say is if you're going out for dinner or anything afterwards, just carry the e.l.f. eyeshadow, the eyebrow kit with you, and you can actually darken up the edges, the crease, just by adding a little bit more of this. Or if you're feeling a little bit brave, just carry yourself a black eyeshadow and just apply black just very lightly to the to your crease, blend it out, and you're good. And that's the only thing you would have to add. Also with this look, if you wanted to, you could even put on a darker lip. If you wanted to, you could change up the lip. This eye look, you could put on any color lip, really. If you wanted to do this and do like a really bright pink lip or red lip or a berry colored lip, whatever color lip you want, this actually goes perfect with it. So I hope you dolls enjoyed the tutorial, sissy. I hope this is what you were looking for, hun. And until next time, have a gorgeous day, dolls. Smooches. Mwah. Bye. In the video, I forgot to show you what products I will use to set this foundation if I do. I don't always set it because my skin works pretty good with this foundation and I don't find myself needing to set it. Maybe just go out with a couple blot sheets at the end of the day and that's it. But if I do set this foundation, these are my products of choice. These two right here. This is my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder and the color that I use is tan number 40. Or I just simply use my Ben Nye Neutral Set Powder. And the only places where I set this foundation are my forehead and maybe the tip of my nose. I do not set my foundation in my cheek area because I allow my powder blush, my bronzing powder, and my highlighting powder to set that foundation in that area because it gives it a really nice pretty look to the skin, and it just looks like you just have those pretty natural contours and highlightings coming out. You know, it just gives you a nice natural flush of color with some highlighting and a little bit of contouring to pop your cheekbones out. So that's what I use. I also use my Mario Badescu facial spray. This one is with aloe, earth, and rose water. This is for all skin types and I purchased this from Ulta. I've talked about this before, and this actually does set your makeup unlike the MAC Fix Plus, which is pretty much a skin refresher. That's a skin refresher and it does set your makeup. So I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know that those are some other things that I do, you know, or you could do with this routine.